I know last time we talked about the exploration of magic, but there's also this idea, and this came about when I was originally going to do a magic story. And it was about, how do I define magic? How do I define how magic works in my universe? And I didn't realize it, but apparently there's systems. There's different systems, well, two different systems I can use, a soft system and a hard system. And the more I was looking into it, the more I was like, oh, well, I didn't know that it worked like that. Until I just realized that, okay, this explains some of the stuff that I've watched growing up regarding magic. So, for example, I know soft magic, they're very light on rules. There's nothing too crazy about it. They're not doing anything too special. I mean, I think it's used more for convenience. It's not gonna really just be explained right away. But yeah, it doesn't have like explicit rules, but it's really more just for spectacle. So, while hard magic, it's rules. There's like, it helps to understand like what the magic can do, what are the limitations,
basically what magic you can't do.
Yeah. And immediately when I thought of hard magic, I thought, well, if we're going by rules, the first example I thought of was Fairly Odd Parents.
All right.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Because they got a big rule book.
A big fat rule book called The Rules.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, dang, when you got it like that, it's like, that's the greatest example of hard magic, that I can think of.
Because there's stuff you can wish for, stuff you can't wish for.
Right.
So what's the number one rule that you can remember that magic cannot do?
Basically, you can't make it, well, at first I thought of Aladdin when Genie first brought up the three rules he can't, like Aladdin can't wish for. Like for one, he can't kill anybody. Two, he can't make anyone fall in love with anyone else. And three, he can't bring back the death.
Okay. But the main one I keep thinking about with Fairly Odd Parents, for example, is you can't use magic to win a competition.
Right. You can't cheat.
Yeah, but I can tell you right now, if Doctor Strange wanted to, he could cheat. Because he operates in a different world. He's just a very proud man. He's not going to just cheat. He's going to learn and figure things out. And only if he has to.
Even if he does have the power to do so.
Exactly. So, and that's one of the first things about, how to describe magic as the great disruptor.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like any other person will most likely try to cheat and try to figure out like some other means of winning, while I feel like magic in this situation, you could cheat or you cannot. Also, you can look at all the different probabilities. If you're kind of in this conflict of like, should I do it or should I not? You can always look at all the different possibilities, do what Doctor Strange does and go here. Well, in this reality, this happens.
Yeah, I guess you could look at it from a moral standpoint. Like, since there are no technical rules with soft magic, you can look at it like, okay, well, what do I feel is the best way to go about in this scenario?
Right. I know for me, hard magic, especially, I guess when I was deciding on which system I wanted to do, I definitely wanted to have a system because magic was going to be the center of the story. Usually when you're dealing with soft magic, it's not the main thing that drives the story. It can create some conflict, it can create some issues, but it's not all about that when it comes to like soft magic systems, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other examples of this being used, of soft magic versus hard magic. And there's even, I know in one of the things I've looked at, there is this in-between where you can have rules, but right away you can also have things that are like, yeah, there's a rule for this, but in this situation,
it's not enforced.
Yeah, we're not going to abide by it. Despite the rule, this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was like the dire consequences from it.
Magic, for the most part, will always have some kind of dire consequence from it. But more often than not, especially if you're going for an ending, like we're ending the story here, so it's like, okay, since magic solved the problem, in this case, there's nothing wrong. We're just gonna let that be the happy ending. But if you're Sam Raimi and you made a magic related movie, you know, it made me think about that post-credit scene of a Multiverse of Madness. So, despite what Doctor Strange had to do to resolve the conflict, there's still that sense of like, no, it's a bittersweet ending, what I would call it.
Yeah. Like there's still some kind of consequence. Like even though you solve the main problem, there's still like an after effect of what just happened.
And that wouldn't come till like later on.
Right. Another example I thought of, and this came from the anime series, have either of you ever heard of Full Metal Alchemist?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they have a hard magic system. Well, one of the ones that I think from what I can remember, one of the biggest ones is like you can't create something out of nothing. Like it has to be something present in order for you to manipulate it and change it. So with that just being the basic line, it leads into the other big thing, and I use Scarlet Witch as an example of this. When you meet a character, after you've established for a long time of like, oh, you can't do this without this, or you can't create something just spontaneously out of nowhere, and then you meet a character, be a hero or villain, that's like, oh, he just made it. Nothing had to be around for him to do it, he just made the thing. It's like, okay, so that rule is broken. But in that case, it's kind of the question of like, this is when does magic get chaotic? When you introduce someone that breaks the rule. And for example, in the MCU, we have Scarlet Witch who breaks the rule when it comes to witchcraft, because even Agatha Harkness in WandaVision, the whole time she's trying to figure out, how is she doing this? And near the end, one of the things that Agatha mentions about Wanda is that you're capable of spontaneous creation. She was able to make children with no idea of how she did it. Don't know where she got the souls from. It's like, where did this come from? All of a sudden you got kids?
So she was just creating children?
She just created something. Out of complete nothingness. We don't know where she
That's God-like when you think about it.
And she has no limitations.
As far as we know, she has no limitations, and I think according to the comics, she's even more powerful than the Phoenix.
Oh.
Yes. Like she's above the Phoenix in terms of what she can do. And at the time, Agatha called it chaos magic. So there's a name for it. They gave it a name. So that explains Wanda's side of things. So when it comes to magic being chaotic, in the terms of hard magic, magic becomes chaotic when someone's breaking the rules. So that's the hard magic side. On the soft magic side, we'll have to use an example like, for example, Teen Titans.
Yeah.
And you think about Raven and all the stuff she can do. If you can think back, was there ever a moment in the show where someone or even herself explained what she can do?
I'm trying to think back. There wasn't. I'm sure there was an episode.
Not Teen Titans Go.
Of course, I wasn't thinking of Teen Titans Go.
Because at least Teen Titans Go Raven.
I haven't seen not one episode of Go.
At least Teen Titans Go Raven, she went through a list of all the things she can do, and that's because her teammates just finally asked, like, well, dang, what all can you do? And she just went through a quick list.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember in the original series a time where Raven just sat down and was like, I can do this. She just did it.
She just did it.
Right.
Okay.
Like, for example, the episode where Robin kept seeing Slade after he had died.
Oh, right, I know. And, well, there was a time where she could, like, go into Raven's mind, and she saw Slade, even though he was supposed to be dead.
Raven went into Robin's mind to see exactly what he's seeing. But notice, before that, she never said, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. She never said that. She just went into her pose and just did it. And you never see her pull that power ever again.
Without explanation.
Exactly. That's the example of soft magic.
Okay.
Because nothing was established for what she can do.
Mm-hmm.
There was no rule, as far as the animated show is concerned. Now in the comics, they might have explained some things.
Okay.
But in the animated show, just strictly in that, nothing was explained. We just know she can do it.
Okay.
So the easiest example for soft magic would be, well, now their magic is doing stuff that they weren't even trying to do. So that takes us to an episode of Teen Titans where it dealt with Raven admitting she was scared of something. Which, if you know Raven, she ain't gonna admit none of that stuff. I don't even think the girl ever said "I love you" to any of her teammates.
That's been, but we know she does.
Yeah. But yeah, this whole episode, they were watching a scary movie, The Teen, and it did legitimately scare all of them, but Raven was the only one going like, it wasn't that scary.
So she was just unfazed by it.
Yeah, fast forward to the fact that she brought all the monsters in the movie to life. And the whole time, everyone's running scared, wondering how's this happening, where's this coming from? Even Raven. Raven didn't even realize what she was doing. Until near the end, she realized, wait, this is me. And it's all because I keep projecting or ignoring the fact that this did scare me. But the minute she realized that, she was able to fix everything.
Yeah. So she was kind of like scared of herself.
More like her subconscious man. See, here's the thing. We can't explain how this happened. There's no explanation for it. It's just simple. But she was scared. She didn't want to admit she was scared, and as a result, I guess
Using it as a defense mechanism.
I guess her magic responded like, well, since you won't admit it, let's bring these things to life. Let's see how brave you're gonna act then.
It's like she unconsciously created.
Yeah, pretty much. And honestly, that's a real thing. That's like a real world mirror sometimes, because when we reject things or ignore and be like, no, that's not me. That's not how I am.
But
And
then,
yet,
a couple seconds later, I did do this.
yeah,
Yeah.
subconsciously you realize,
It's like,
you know what?
You don't even realize what you're doing like in the moment, but later it starts to click.
Yeah. But this would be an example of soft magic getting chaotic because, again, no rules were established. We didn't know she could even do stuff like this. But for the sake of the plot, for the sake of how the story was going to go, well, now we know. If she resists or holds on or represses anything, her magic will counteract it and be like, no, we can't, you cannot repress this. And that's how I kind of viewed it when I saw the episode. It's like her magic is saying, no, you are not allowed to repress any of this. Like, it's gonna come out one way or another. But yeah, that, to me, that is something like major as far as magic systems and just figuring out when magic gets just chaotic, you know, when it gets out of hand, gets out of control. And these are things I consider when making my story. It's also why I get so drawn to magic, because in both instances you get these moments of like, so magic can do this. Horror magic will give you a strict list of like, it can do this, that, and the third, but it cannot do these. So for example, you talk about you can't raise the dead. We don't know if Scarlet Witch can raise the dead or not.